My son is autistic. He's fairly independent and he works a part-time job. Stays home alone, fine, even overnight sometimes. Can do his own shopping, etc. That's a little challenging, but sounds like he's doing good. He used to love my girlfriend. Oh, what happened? I've been with her almost a year now. Since last April or so. He talked about how cool she was and how they had so much fun together. That's nice. She also liked him at first, but he can be a bit much sometimes, and she has very little patience. That can be a challenge with an autistic son. Lastly, there's some incident every time they're alone together. Oh, subscribe for more drama. I'll come home, and she's mad about something he did, and he's sitting there with his hands over his ears, saying he doesn't know what he did wrong. And honestly, I typically side with him. I've had so many conversations with her where I explain that I need her to ask, or at least inform, me before she tries to parent him or discipline him. But I keep finding out she grounded him, or confiscated his iPad, or made some new rule I didn't know about. Oh. Well, you do need to talk about parenting as a couple in that situation. She grounded him last week while I was gone. Took his phone and his iPad, locked his toys in his room, and told him not to leave the couch, then left him alone for several hours without telling me. That can be seen as a bit harsh. I returned his stuff the second I found out, and she was furious about it. I can't understand why she's seemingly a different person only around my son. They get along when it's all three of us. I can tell my son still likes her, even if she's mean when they're alone. Oh, well, that's good. Ever since the couch incident, my son keeps asking if he can come to work with me. Oh, or if he could stay at the library for 8 hours while I'm away. He said it's not to avoid her and that he doesn't have a problem with her, but it's obviously just to get away from her. Yeah, that's understandable for him in that situation. I just don't know how I can stay with someone who can't be alone with my kid. Every time I talk to her about this, she gets defensive, says I baby him, I'm too soft, that he's manipulative, and has me wrapped around his finger. But it's not crazy for me to not want my son to be afraid of my partner. Is there anything I can do or try that will let me keep both happy? That's a little tough. In summary, my son acts afraid to be left alone with my girlfriend, but they get along when I'm around. She disciplines him without permission from me. How can I fix this? Well, the best way would just go and talk to her about a parenting style that works for you, your son, and her as well. Now for drama number 2. We've been together since we were 23. We committed to the whole boyfriend-girlfriend thing 3 days after meeting. Aw, that's nice. We've been married 8 years in March and have a 5-year-old together. That's good. I didn't find out about his epilepsy until we were 6 months in. Oh, that can be a challenge. This is the most important part of the whole situation. You do not want to miss out on the drama. Subscribe for more. His seizures are very violent. He has grand mal ones. Those ones are quite big, as the name implies. He spends 1 to 2 minutes on the floor. Over the last year, it's gotten worse. And now the last 3 seizures he's had, he completely stops breathing and his whole face turns blue. I'm always worried he won't breathe again, or his heart will stop. Afterwards, it takes 1 to 2 hours before he's normal again. Meaning, he's incoherent and can tell what's going on. He has no idea what happened. Even has a made-up story that he really thinks happened, of how he got to a different location, usually the bedroom on the bed. Wow, that's quite unfortunate to live that way. For that 1 to 2 hours, I'm solely responsible for him. He's like a child. He's spitting everywhere. He's got a lot of saliva and blood in his mouth he's trying to get rid of. He's not coherent. So he's spitting on the computer, keyboard, our bed, our carpet, wherever he is. Most of the time, he's throwing up randomly after. Even though he shouldn't get up after having one, as he can't stand or walk, he still tries and constantly falls down. So I have to make sure he doesn't hurt himself further. He asks for water, and if I let him drink too much, he just immediately pukes it all up. After 1 to 2 hours, he usually wants to sleep for 4 to 12 hours or more, no matter what time of the day it is. Understandable, as it has a terrible impact on the body. And then, he can't go to work at all for at least 24 hours, because his body is in so much physical pain and every muscle he has is so sore. Also, 100% understandable. For at least a few days after, he's in constant muscle pain. Wow, that's quite a bad experience to go through that every time that happens. To run that down, I have to drop whatever I'm doing instantly to get to him. Most of the time, he's sitting or standing. I have to make sure his head doesn't hit anything to cause further brain injury. I have to make sure he doesn't get up, try to walk, fall, or hurt himself further. I have to find a way to get him to the bed all by myself. He's the safest there, and he needs to sleep it off. He normally has 2 to 3 a year, but can have more if he doesn't take proper precautions. He has twice daily meds and needs to get proper sleep. Those are his 2 biggest triggers for his seizures. One time, he got so mad that our dog ate one of his flip-flops, he ended up causing a seizure, so anger is a trigger too. But even with perfect med use and sleep, he can still have one randomly. It's just exacerbated so much more without it. Wow, that's quite a bad experience. Anyway, he never asked me to do all this. I just stepped into the role. Wow, that's, even with the meds and the precautions, that is a lot to deal with. Anyway, he never asked me to do all this. I just stepped into the role because I love him, care for him, don't want him to cause further injury in himself or die. Yes, death is a very real concern, especially lately since the last few he has started not breathing during them and turning blue. My cousin's wife literally died 10 years ago, leaving 3 small children, including a 2-week-old, behind after she had an epileptic seizure. Oh wow. Even without the cousin wife's death, I have a lot of PTSD from his seizures. I have nightmares about it all the time. Sometimes I can't sleep at all because of the anxiety. I get flashbacks and I freeze. I cry a lot about it, and it's the scariest thing to think about. Every time he has one, I'm worried he's gonna die in my arms. This will be the time I lose him. That my child loses their father. My world crumbles. That's quite a severe concern to have. He says that I control his sleep a lot, and that I'm very bossy about it, which I think is true. But I think most of it comes out of love and being scared for his life. I don't want to tell him that he needs to sleep. I just wish he would take care of himself. I'll give you an example of what's happening today. My husband works night shift. Gets off at 6 a.m. usually. He usually keeps the same sleeping pattern off work. Today, he stayed awake till 7 a.m. He woke up at 11 a.m. That's only 4 hours of sleep. That is 100% seizure territory. He needs ideally 8+ hours not to worry, but bare minimum 6 hours. I try to talk to him, telling him I really think he should take a couple-hour nap so he doesn't seize. He got annoyed with me, sighing heavily, rolling his eyes, saying he's a grown adult and that he can do what he wants. I asked him to reconsider, as I was really worried about him. And he said he was a grown adult, and I was trying to control him into doing what I wanted him to do. This is a fight we have all the time. The last few weeks, it's been happening more. I see it as him being really irresponsible with his life, taking a chance at death, and strapping me as a widow with a small child. All because what? He doesn't want to? Because he wants to play video games? I got upset and said, fine, don't expect me to come this time if he has a seizure. And not to forget the puke bucket, because he likes to spit and throw up all over his computer after. He said, fine. Then I remembered he forgot his medication this morning. He should have taken it at 11 a.m. So he's currently running on 4 hours and no medication, which makes it the worst combination. So I brought it to him. I know he didn't put me into this role, I put myself into it. He says to stop controlling him and trying to make him sleep when he doesn't want to, but I'm the one who faces all the consequences. I have to clean up the mess, take care of him, take care of her kid, deal with PTSD, and possibly his death. If he did die, or become brain dead, it's not a problem for him anymore. He wouldn't even know what's going on. All that would be left to me. I would possibly be taking care of a person in a vegetative state for the rest of my life. Am I absolutely crazy? I want to find the way ahead. I don't want to leave him. I don't want him to seize or die. I don't want him to think I'm so controlling about this all the time. I want to find some sort of middle ground. How do I keep this relationship together and also not have him telling me how controlling I am about his sleep all the time? I love this man, but he drives me crazy. In summary, husband has epilepsy and doesn't sleep properly. Gets mad when I tell him he needs a sleep or nap. Keeps calling me controlling. I want him to not die. How do we fix this so we are both happy? There is an update. I just want to thank everyone for your thoughtful replies. I am definitely reading them and rereading them thoroughly. I might show him this later, but it would probably make him really mad that I posted about him. Yes, that would make him mad, but overall, this woman did express her displeasure towards her husband of everything that's going on with his seizures, but at the end of it all, she loves him and she wants to take care of him, and it seems that she just needed to say to someone what was going on. Now for drama number 3. My fiance has been losing it for over a year now, ever since his parents tragically died in a car crash. To take it from the beginning and give it some background, he always felt like he owes his parents something. He was the youngest of 4, and all the siblings went up high, made it through good universities, and got pretty prestigious jobs. He got on track, and for the past 2 to 3 years, became better. He threw it behind him and worked on himself, lost about 80 pounds. Whoa. Found hobbies, friends, a well-paying job, and felt like he's finally got it. Oh yeah, this is going good. Then he also got his PhD. Wow. And proposed to me. Oh. Which made his parents probably the proudest they've been. This happened about 2 weeks before the incident, and he was on top of the world until he wasn't. The day it happened. If you have not subscribed, do it for more drama. He got everything sorted out. His brother called that'll take care of everything process-wise, and so he told me he's going to rent a lodge in the mountains to just clear his head and try to get above things. I didn't know how to act, so I said yes, sure, go, do what you feel you need to do. He came back and told me that we have to talk. He said that he managed to get all the drugs he read could help, and that he was mixing LSD, MDMA, shrooms, and some light opioids some day of the 2 weeks to try and reach ego death and just take it all in. He probably did experience an ego death, but ever since, for the past 10 months, I feel like he's been stuck in it, and he just isn't and doesn't want to be himself. He's a fairly tall guy, but still, he got back to about 290 pounds, started hating his looks and the whole world with it. Became just nihilistic. We went through post-relatives death therapy, couple therapy, and he even got another therapist for himself. He does nothing with them. He takes them lightly, cynically, and just doesn't accept a word because he knows better. We canceled the wedding too, because his parents won't be there, and it's just not in place yet. But I feel like I'm at my ends. I've given it my all. Energy, mental health, work-life balance, everything. And I'm starting to lose everything I felt for us. Since we started working out together, because we hated how he looked, I somehow got hate in my heart for it. And besides my worry for his lack of life, joy, and belief in anything, I now also despise how he looks. I probably sound cruel, but I have to get it off my chest. No. He stopped caring for me and lost any interest, as he did with all other things. We had intimacy about 4 times in the whole year, and lately I'm not absolutely into it anymore physically. He also didn't care that I lost my job, and it took me 2 months to get a new one, and until now, he doesn't know where I actually work. Every time my parents come to visit, he either gets sad up to the point he tears up, or just leaves the house. I don't know what to do anymore. I love him, and I don't want to leave him. But it has taken so much time that I feel like this isn't grief anymore. It's just a person who gave up on life. In summary, future husband lost all will to live his life and care for a relationship after his parents died. Oh wow. There is an update. I genuinely cannot comprehend how so many people back the fact that if someone's grieving in a way where they lose their job, their hobbies, leave everything to their partner, it's completely normal. I have given my all to help, but the other person doesn't accept help, be it mine, therapy, or his relatives. He cut ties and burned ground. What I needed was advice. I'm burnt out. I'm not a cold-hearted killer. I love my fiance. So this man, he lost his parents, and when you lose someone close to you, especially both of your parents, that can be quite devastating. And so you should take some time with yourself to grieve and process that. And for him, it seemed he took some drugs to be one with the universe, to try to avoid those feelings, perhaps. And so he really should have, the best choice would have been to just be with himself and deal with all that suffering and process it and get better. And his wife, she's just trying his best to support him the best she can do. And having a wife to support you through all of that, that's a really nice thing to have. And his wife, she supports him a lot, and she's just trying everything she can to just get him better. And hopefully he does get better. If you enjoyed, comment what you think about all this.